Hi everyone. Today we'll talk about Scrum methodology. In particular, approaches, differences, non-agile methodologies, roles, activities, and artifacts. So let's start. What is Scrum? Scrum is an agile way to manage a project, usually software development. Agile software development with Scrum is often perceived as a methodology. But rather than viewing Scrum as a methodology, think of it as a framework for managing a process. In the Agile Scrum world, instead of providing complete, detailed descriptions of how everything is to be done on a project, much of it is left up to the Scrum software development team. This is because the team will know best how to solve the problem they are presented. This is why the Scrum development, for example, a sprint planning meeting, is described in terms of the desired outcome, a commitment to a set of features to be developed in the next sprint. Instead of a set of entry criteria, task definitions, validation criteria, exit criteria, and so on, as would be provided in most methodologies. Scrum relies on a self-organizing cross-functional team. The Scrum team is self-organizing in that there is no overall team leader who decides which persons will do which task and how a problem will be solved. Those are issues that are decided by the team as well. And in Scrum, a team is cross-functional, meaning everyone is needing to take a feature from idea to implementation. Within Agile development, Scrum teams are supported by two specific roles. The first is a Scrum Master, who can be thought of as a coach for the team, helping team members use the Scrum process to perform at the highest level. The next is the Product Owner, is the other role, and in Scrum software development represents the business customers or users and guides the team toward building the right product. And if we want to tell about Scrum in 100 words, it will be: Scrum is an agile process that allows us to focus on delivering the highest business value on the shortest time. It allows us rapidly, repeatedly inspect actual working software every 2 weeks to a month. The business sets the priorities. Teams self-organize to determine the best way to deliver the highest priority features. Every 2 weeks to a month, anyone can see real working software and decide to release it as is or continue to enhance it for another sprint. And now we can see the process of Scrum at the picture. It begins with product backlog, which is quarterly transferred to sprint goal and sprint backlog, which goes to a sprint, 2 up to 4 weeks, and at the end we have potentially shippable product increment. And if you put in it all together, we have product backlog, then sprint backlog, go to the sprint for 2 weeks and with daily Scrum meetings, and at the end our finish is potentially shippable product increment. So the Agile Manifesto statement of values: individuals and interactions over process and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following a plan. Sequential vs overlapping development, or what is difference with non-agile methodologies? Usually at SDLC we have requirements, design, code, and tests. And rather than doing all of one thing at a time, as in the non-agile methodologies, Scrum teams do a little of everything all the time. So let's see a Scrum framework. Scrum framework has roles, activities, and artifacts. Roles such as product owner, Scrum master, and team. Activities: sprint planning, sprint review, sprint retrospective, daily Scrum meeting. And artifacts: product backlog, sprint backlog, bend down chats. Let's start with roles. And I think the first role is a product owner. Who is product owner and what does he do? He defines the features of the product, decide on release date and content, be responsible for the profitability of the product, prioritize features according to market value, adjust features and priority every iteration as needed, and accept or reject work results. The next one is Scrum Master. He represents management to the project. He is responsible for enacting Scrum values and practices. He removes impediments. He ensures that the team is fully functional and productive. He enables close cooperation across all roles and functions. It shields the team from external interferences. And the last one role is the team as whole. It's typically 5 to 9 people, cross-functional. Programmers, testers, user experience designers, etc. And members should be full-time, maybe exemptions, e.g. a database administrator. Teams are self-organizing. Ideally, no ties, but rarely a possibility. Membership should change only between sprints. The next one part is activities. Sprint planning, sprint review, sprint retrospective, and daily Scrum meeting. So, at the sprint planning meeting, we define such as things: team capacity, product backlog, business conditions, current product and technology. Sprint prioritization include analyze and evaluate product backlog and select sprint goal. At the finish we have sprint goal. The sprint planning, we decide how to achieve sprint goal design. Create sprint backlog tasks from product backlog items. User stories features. Estimate sprint backlog in hours. At the end we have sprint backlog. What is sprint? Scrum products make progress in series of sprints. Analogous extreme programming iterations. Typically durations is 2 up to 4 weeks or a calendar month at most. Constant duration leads to a better rhythm. Product is designed, coded and tested during the sprint. Sprint planning. Team selects items from the product backlog they can commit to completing. Sprint backlog is created. Tasks are identified and each is estimated 1 to 16 hours. Collaboratively, not done alone by the Scrum Master. High-level design is considered. The daily Scrum parameters: daily, no more 15 minutes, and stand up. Not for problem solving. Whole world is invited. Only team members, Scrum Masters, product owner can talk. Helps avoid other unnecessary meetings. At the daily Scrum, everyone answers 3 questions. What did you do? The first one. What did you do yesterday? The second. What will you do today? And third. Is anything in your way? The sprint review. The sprint review team presents what is accomplished during the sprint. Typically takes the form of a demo of new features or underlying architecture. Informal. 2-hour prep time rule, no slides. Whole team participates, invites the world. The sprint retrospective. Periodically take a look at what is and is not working. Typically 15 up to 30 minutes. Done after every sprint. Whole team participates. Scrum Master, Product Owner team, possibly customers and others. And let's start with artifacts. It's product backlog, sprint backlog, and bend down chart. What is product backlog? The requirements, a list of all desired work on the project. Ideally expressed such that each item has value to the users or customers of the product. Prioritized by the product owner. Reprioritized at the start of each sprint. And now we can see a sample product backlog, which have a backlog item, for example, allow guests to make a reservation and estimates its breakdown points. The sprint goal, a short statement of what the work will be focused on during the sprint. Life science, support features necessary for population genetic studies. Database application, makes the application run on SQL server in addition to Oracle. Financial services, support more technical indicator than company ABC with real-time streaming data. Managing the sprint backlog. Any team member can add, delete or change the sprint backlog. Work for the sprint images. If work is unclear, define a sprint backlog item with a larger amount of time and break it down later. Update work remaining as more becomes known. A sprint backlog. Task, and for example, code the user interface Monday 8 breakdown points, Tuesday 4, Wednesday 8. This is an example of sprint bend down chart. Scalability. Typically individual team is 7 plus minus 2 people. Scalability comes from teams of teams. Factors in scaling. Type of application, team size, team dispersion, project duration. Scrum had been used on a multiple 500 plus persons project. And this is an example of scaling through the Scrum of Scrums. At the top we can see 3 Scrum Masters, the bottom 3 Scrum teams. So thank you everyone for your time, thank you for your attention, and have a nice day and goodbye.